be the star. I'm the winner coming out of the dark. No fear, getting ready for the ride. Yeah, stepping into the light. No limit, aim high. No limit, the prize is mine.
Step out as a motivator. Let them know that the wait's up. That's how we know when we level up. Hey, that's how we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouths. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. But your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator. This is to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone. 'Cause I'm just like you. There's no failing when we fight. We're not afraid to. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
ESL Mobile Open is brought to you by DHL and Pay Safeguard.
Welcome to the ESL Mobile Open Weekly Recap. It is week 4. The region, Europe, Middle East and North Africa. The titles, PUBG Mobile, Brawl Stars and Clash of Clans. The host, my name is Banks. And look at joining me to my right-hand side, look who it is. It's D-Man. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good. I'm doing very good. I'm not sure I'm quite as hyped as you were there.
Oh.
Jeez, you are ready.
We're bringing the energy up, mate. That is what we got to do because we hopped on the recap on Monday earlier this week, okay? But this week, it's been a little bit more important for a few of our titles, especially because we've had the first round of play-ins so far. So we're going to cover some of that. But before we get into it, okay, if you're new to the ESL Mobile Open, first of all, welcome. Second of all, here is all you need to know about the format.
Welcome to ESL Mobile, the home of mobile esports. ESL Mobile is a global program designed to give you an opportunity to compete in your favorite mobile games, featuring multiple game titles taking place in 3 regions and offering 2 levels of competition. There's something here for everyone. ESL Mobile Open is the gateway to competitive play, free to join and open to any resident of our supported regions. This is the best way for you to enjoy the thrill of victory and take your shot at winning cash prizes. Each season of Mobile Open will consist of 2 ladders, and the top competitors from each will qualify for the Mobile Open play-ins. ESL Mobile Challenge is your path to glory. If you are a top competitor in the Mobile Open play-ins, you will earn a spot in the Mobile Challenge season. The top team from each ladder will skip the play-ins and qualify directly for the Mobile Challenge season. This is where you'll have the chance to compete against the best players in your region. At the end of each season, top Mobile Challenge players will compete in the Mobile Challenge Finals to determine a winner and be crowned their region's champion. ESL Mobile is for everyone. This is your opportunity to join a diverse and growing community of players across the world and see just how far you can go.
D-Man, doesn't Inviram just have the best voice? It's just so calm and smoothing. Calming and smooth, not calm and smoothing. That's a bit weird. I've actually got a question for you, okay? Would you rather put spuds in the oven or make stuffing?
Spuds in the oven?
Spuds in the oven. You're a spud guy. Okay, I like it. Because it's time for some chicken dinners. If you didn't get my reference, chicken dinners, aka wins in Battle Royale, stem from arguably the most popular mobile esport around at the moment. 600 million accounts and counting. It's PUBG Mobile, of course. D-Man, how many of those 600 million accounts are yours? Just the one?
Just the one. I'm not a man for alts.
Well, it's been 4 weeks, so let's check out our leaderboard so far, because we're looking for the most consistently epic squads that we can come across, okay? On Monday, we even saw a few 13-plus kill wins from our top 5, so that seems to be the benchmark we're looking at, D-Man. Is that about right?
Yeah, and it's pretty insane how many games these guys have played. Obviously, it's almost every 2 days, right? There's another best of 4 or 5 games going on. So a lot of matches have been played. Very interested to see the same names retaining at the top, because obviously, you know, the fact is you're joining a game, there's 16 teams in there. You don't really know who you're up against. So to retain those points is always very special. It proves these guys are the best of the best.
It really does. We've got X9 slipping down ever so slightly. B's team slipping down from 7th to 8th. So still maintaining their top 8 positions. We're going to jump over to 9th to 16th now and just have a really quick look and see who's clinging on for dear life down at that bottom side, in fact, which is OP Devils, who are so, I mean, let's call it OP, considering the name, in Spring Open. And now they're in 14th. But arguably, there were some clashes with some other tournaments going on during the Spring Open. So now we can expect maybe some more squads to be joining in. Is that right, D-Man, maybe?
If you're referring to some of the big orgs, no, they're not allowed to, which is a shame. It's just a shame, because I did see Kanina Power in there a week or two ago, but I don't know how many games they've been able to play. They're one of the top CIS teams out there, so it's very interesting to see how the best of the rest can complete.
Exactly. Well, as you'll see, each match is extremely unique. So we're going to jump into some gameplay, because we have different approaches, different teams playing at different paces, different loot that you get when you first land. So consistency at this level is really difficult. So it truly is, you know, they really are getting to insanely good levels to be able to maintain a consistency. But we're kicking things off with X9 with 1 team kill, and there goes a drop. And it's looking like it could be curtains from the get-go of this clip, D-Man.
Yeah, and pretty much what you just said there. You know, in terms of battle royales, it's obviously it's very different to a standard knockout competition. You're not just playing that one opponent that you've had a couple of days to watch VODs and prepare for and get used to. In battle royales, you know, especially with PUBG, you are straight in there, 16 teams, get your drop point, follow the circles in, and by circle 9, hope that you're in the right place at the right time, and you have managed to position it. Well, Clara definitely is in a tricky spot right now. There's no doubt about it. You can see 8 alive still. The only player left in the team as well. So Clara's got a lot of work to do here.
Yeah, 4 teams up, 8 alive. Erangel is the map. 6th circle as the blue is going to come in ever so shortly. He's going to make sure that he's in an advantageous position, pushing up. And you know what? Playing fairly passive, I wouldn't hold it against him. We talk always on these weekly recap shows that we love to see aggressive plays. I would be doing the same thing if I was him, D-Man.
Yeah, honestly, though, great approach. Realizing that they're the only person on this side. As you can see, look at the mini-map. They're the only person on the west side of the circle. Meanwhile, everybody else, and he's just been looking because they're trading blows. So this is perfect for Clara here. Looking around, figuring out, okay, there's a team there, there's a team there. They're engaging over there. So they know exactly where they are. You can see at the moment, team 24 and 17 in the distance, they are fighting one another. While the other team over to the left-hand side, that team number 13, they are a 2-man by the looks of it over on the left there. So very good positioning at the moment for Clara, realizing obviously the situation. Now with our vehicle moving up, you can try and benefit on this.
And depending on how comfortable and confident, as I say it, pops out of the building and sprays one down. Doesn't manage to get the full kill just yet. But it's definitely, oh, there you go. There goes the full kill. So just kind of creeping in and out, but still not playing too passively, still comfortable at taking a few pot shots and knowing that some of the other players are going to know his situation or his location, after shooting those shots. So he's going to throw a few smokes down, try and reposition himself and see where to go from where the 7th circle is going now.
Yeah, this is
Still
perfect
aggressive.
for him as well. Really well played. Obviously, so as soon as that vehicle came, it took the shot. So that gave his information away to everyone else. There's a player in the bunker we need to be careful of. So lays down 4 smokes, comes out, pops the one on the right-hand side. Very well played. And that's took it down to a 1v2 now. He has the crate in front of them. So that's going to be either bonus armor or a weapon. You'll see exactly what maybe they're going to get from that one. So this is a fantastic position now that Clara's left him in. On the edge of the circle as well. So inside the circle, doesn't need to worry about where it's going to go from from here, because it's down to the opposition now to try and pincer, and that's what they're trying now.
In a 1v2 situation, you would think that one would potentially try and get a good spot and hide. But if you keep moving, they're going to have to keep guessing where you are. Now, he's taking some pot shots through the grass. Snakey snaking his way through. So he's given away his position. But if he can drop one of them, this becomes a very interesting final fight. He's almost got him down right the way to the last bullet. D-Man, it's a 1v1.
It's a 1v1. You can see his perfect positions going for the UMP as well. Looks like he's going to use the cover, and he has. And the other, you can see the weapon. They ran out of bullets. They went for the weapon switch, and that gave him the opportunity. Clara pops out, gets another kill, and takes a brilliant win for X9.
Ooh, so close. I mean, team in second. Unfortunate, they could have come away with an 11-kill win there, which would have bumped them way up that leaderboard. But X9 showing the confidence, even in a 1v2, right to the bitter end, where there was virtually no cover apart from a box. So good on them. Clara absolutely coming in clutch to the very end there. So our next map that we're going to jump into is on Sanhok. One of our, you know what, it's always a nice surprise when we see content on Sanhok, because it's always, you know, Erangel and Miramar, and we're like, okay,
a surprise for you, maybe, not for the players. Then it's not a fan favorite, I've got to be honest, but it is a map that absolutely offers lots of action for us. So we're certainly happy with that. And as you can see, we're joining the Destiny right now. The number 3 team, by the way, currently in the ladder. So we'll see how they deliver here.
Yes, indeed. We got Destiny Time sitting on top with, I mean, a very good position. Let's be honest. We've got 5 alive. 3. Oh, 1 gets dropped. Okay, so we got 2 up from Destiny. He's going to get the quick res. And we're going to have 3 alive with 2 teams remaining. And they are, I mean, talking about advantageous positioning, sat atop of the mountain and knowing exactly where they are. This is nigh impossible for this man sat at the base. I mean, this is, I was going to say, it's not even a hilltop. He's literally inside. I mean, what would you, he's in a bowl. There's no escape.
Yeah, there's no way out of this one, surely. And you can see the spread that Destiny have now. Look at the mini-map on the right there. You can see they have this beautiful little spread. The 3 players alive, and it's just perfectly positioned. In the end, a simple nade down there finishes the job. Destiny picked themselves up. Just a 5-kill game, so it was a quiet one overall. But still, you know, when you come out on top on Sanhok, you're going to be happy.
It's weird to see that some of these are quiet in general, because you can have a quick scan of the entire leaderboard at the end there, first all the way down through 6th, and you know the most amount of kills was about 6, so quite a passive game. I imagine you come across with some of those quite often.
Yeah, so what that tells you is basically there's been a bit of craziness in the first circle that's probably happened elsewhere in the map that they've not been involved in, which means a lot of people have maybe died. It might have been like a couple of north pulls on the circle. I could see that finish towards the north side of the map, so it may have just like centered up lower and then pulled north, and that will catch a lot of people off guard, obviously, if they've maybe come down from the top. So you can only kill what's in front of you, right?
Very true. I mean, our third clip, we're going to jump into our third map, Miramar, and it's going to be Tip Top Esports. We're going to be covering throughout this short clip. We've got 17 kills already for Tip Top, 5 alive and only 2 teams. So it's literally, we are in a 3v2 situation right here, right now, D-Man. Let's go.
Yeah, so Ghost has already got the 3 kills on his own here into Minas Generales. So it's a straight up 3v2, as you mentioned. So advantage for Tip Top here. But they don't really know where the opposition is by the looks of it. You can see they're just scouting, checking this building. They realize they're not in the warehouse. So got to figure out the position, which tells me they maybe just probably come in, judging by the fact they've both come in from the vehicles. They've just come into the circle after probably having a fight. It's always the tricky part when we get to the clips. We don't see the build up to the fight exactly, so we don't really know where they came from. But it does look like they've come in with 0 information, which gives the opposition team quite an advantage here, because it looks like they're kind of bunkered down in a building.
Exactly. They're just going to have to potentially do a little bit more scouting, just double check that they're not going to get flanked by the opposing, well, the remaining opponents. But it's okay to play passive. You've got 3 alive. There's only 5 up. So you can play slow. You can chill. And just try to ensure that you're going to get this win. Because, you know, you need those extra points. Shove you up that leaderboard just a little bit more. Just north of Minas Generales on Miramar. And I think that it's quite, to us, to the viewer, it would be a fairly obvious position to just be bunkered down in that middle building. But, you know, you can never be too careful, especially in Battle Royales. You always have someone camping, D-Man.
Yeah, and you can see from Stupid Pig's position, look what he's doing. He's checking all the windows. So he's checking the doors, the building on the left. The thing is that the problem is there is 3 buildings there. So they don't know which one they're in, and they have to play this very cautiously. You can see there's this building on the left. Actually, it's 2 shacks, I think, on the left there. The big building that they are currently in, and another one to the right. So they have to play this as safe and cautious as they can, which is why now they're going to use this buggy. So Ghost is going to go around. He's trying to draw fire. He wants them to fire at him. So the rest of his teammates can say, okay, they're here. And he's just going to keep peeking by the windows. Well, Cold, you can see at the moment, is flanking round and just staying below the eye line from those buildings. So he can pop up at an unexpected moment and go for the kill.
Exactly. Excited to see how this pans out, because obviously it's still quite a dangerous thing to do, to be driving around in the buggy and drawing fire, because if you go up against someone that is extremely accurate, they can drop you out of that buggy fairly quickly. So you've got to be pretty sharpish. But I think that they have just all decided, you know what? They're guaranteed to be in this building. We've had no shots fired at us. Let's storm it as a 3. One of them's holding back. Stupid Pig should be in there to try and back up his teammates. Has he left it a little bit too late, D-Man?
Well, they didn't move in at the same time, which is a big problem here for Tip Top. And you can see Shabsy's managed to get 1, 2, and the third goes down, and Bees will take it. So a massive mistake from Tip Top there. They went in. We were viewing Cold's position. He was aiming up ready for the nade, the nade entry, which is exactly what he should be doing. But his 2 teammates just went straight in, guns blazing, and died. And so he's just like, guys, what are you doing?
The confidence play turned out to not be the right play, and I'm actually always an advocate for the confident plays in PUBG. It's more exciting for us to watch, let's be honest, but then it also shows you the more confident teams, or the more competent teams as well, at rushing a building together or doing things as a unit, which demonstrates that they know what they're doing. But a little bit of lag behind, a couple of seconds behind, and that can ruin the entire moment. So an unfortunate situation, but like I said on Monday, D-Man, that once the ball is rolling, some of these teams are going to rack up some huge scores. This week, not so many scores, but it's not so many kills, sorry, to get the scores racking up. However, really impressed in that 1v7 in our first clip on Erangel. That's got to be the one for me, D-Man.
Yeah, definitely. There's no doubt about it. He played it really well. He took a slow approach. He smoked his approach. He killed what came in front of him, smoked his approach, and played that 1v2 really well. So very well played, the man from X9.
So if any of you at home would like to drop into Erangel, Miramar, or Sanhok with your squad, you most certainly can. Just put ! sign up in the chat, follow all the instructions, and you and your squad could be on the path to glory and riches. And I'm bigging it up quite a lot here. It's going to be good. We're going to jump into a break now. And I'd love you to be back here sharpish, because we've got Brawl Stars coming up next.
I'll be here.
ESL Mobile Open is brought to you by DHL and Pay Safeguard.
Brawl Stars has to be one of the fastest growing mobile esports. Fast-paced, character-based, and loads of fun for players, let's say, of all ages. So no wonder there's orgs piling in to get in on the action. But one of the more impressive things for me, D-Man, have to be the regular patches, giving each and every brawler a look in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we've had a big patch come through, so a lot of changes. Wasn't quite as huge as the one we had just as the Challenge Series began not long ago, but I think not long ago, it's probably about 3 months ago now. Time is flying by this year, no doubt about it. But yeah, it's still a pretty big patch. Lots of nerfs in there, as well as obviously buffs came through, a couple of map changes, and the big one for me was the safe and the heist going up by 25% hit points. So it's that's going to be a big one. Very interesting to see how it's going to play out. Obviously, we have the play-ins later tonight, so we'll see how that affects and how the meta shifts.
Yeah, making those siege matches just a little bit more interesting, a little bit more lengthy, let's say. But we got the leaderboard for Brawl Stars coming up on your screens right now. And this is what it looks like after week 4. A surprise blast to the top from AC Milan Clash, I must say, D-Man. But are we really surprised?
No, not really, I would say. I mean, yes, we expected Clash and SK to sort of get in there. Genius Gene and Navi, they've been sort of battling it out in the CAS region for a long time anyway. So EXO free agents who obviously went through on a free, effectively topping out last time around in the spring, not so much this time. They're going to have to go through the play-ins along with Tribe, Reply Totem. A lot of the standard names that we expect in there are in there. There's a couple missing, but honestly, this is going to be a very exciting play-ins. Mood Game in 9th place means they made it through as well. So it does mean that Clash get that automatic route straight into ESL Mobile Challenge.
Exactly. That is the one thing that you can really take from this. Towards the end of the ladder matches, if you just smash out as many as you can, if you're lucky enough to get rolled against some of the bigger teams as well, you're going to collect more points. And AC Milan Clash just went on an absolute tear and destroyed a bunch of teams. And then look at them sitting at the top for a free pick straight through. Don't even have to worry about going through the play-ins, which is going to be later today, like D-Man has already mentioned, by the way. And you're going to have some lovely other casters joining as well in the form of Lethal and Arc. But less of that. We're going to dive straight into our first match of the day in Brawl Stars, which is SK versus Reply Totem.
Just before we get into it, I want to point out that Clash, by the way, beat SK twice yesterday, which is how they obviously ended up in that top place, in SK down in third. So back to SK on your screens. As I say, Reply Totem, this was the semi-finals of the ESL Mobile Challenge. Then SK came out on top in that game, but it was an incredibly tense one, no doubt about it. Reply Totem definitely stepping things up. Maru Mari and Soida Bressa are very impressive players, and I expect to see them continuing that dominance, of course, in the play-ins later on today. But Brock is one of those brawlers that have sort of slowly come back into it. We see Jet using it at the moment, has been using it for a while, but did get a bit of a buff in the patch.
Gem grab on your screens right now. And we got Totem absolutely cleaning up right now, hitting that 10 and gonna retreat now. And gets dropped as he pushes back. That is so unfortunate. Skyrix trying to clean them up just to make sure that SK managed to reverse this one around, and it looks promising right now as long as they can get Amari, and he's been dropped. It's looking bad.
I mean, the one thing you don't want, like, Sprout is not a great chaser. There's no doubt about it. Great defensive player, can get all the blocks out there, but yeah, Sprout's not going to be able to chase Skyrix down there. Not a lot he could do about it, and once he do, go through. So SK pick up the first game, and then back on Gem Grab, as you say. This time switching out, keeping that Byron in there, as well as Squeak over the side. Squeak's starting to come into prevalence here. We'll see how that continues. Don't really know what the bans were coming into this one. I'm going to assume Gene, since Gene's not on either side. I think that's probably a fair guess. But yeah, the double Sprouts, he's kind of become a common gem carrier so far.
Yeah, expect a nerf maybe inbound, but we got Squeak on this bottom right in the form of Skyrix, who's actually, if you're accurate enough, Squeak's got the sticky goo that literally will latch onto you. So if you're accurate enough, it is a very, very solid pick at the moment, like you've been saying. But, you know, Semantic coming back into the mix right now. We got an 8-2 deficit right now for Totem, absolutely cleaning it up. All they need is 2 more, and then they can go on the retreat and see if they can push back SK to maintain this win on Gem Grab. I mean, it's a solid match between Totem and SK. You got to see when it gets to the top 8 and when you go to the play-ins, the match has become so even because both sides are always so aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, Reply Totem, I would say top 4 because they were there in the challenge. Obviously, they've been putting a lot of work in recently. They've certainly stepped it up. That's great work there from Jet and make sure Mario doesn't get through. And then again, look at Mario. Mario's basically pinned himself in here. Squeak, though, can't get the damage down. Skyrix gets picked off and Jet goes down as well. And I got to point out, by the way, I'm pretty sure SK are maybe all playing together. I know they were on LAN just a week ago. So I think they're still sticking around there at the moment. So after seeing Jet and surprise facts of Jet, I think on Twitter, there's been some very interesting socials going on between the two teams. But a much closer game, though, between these two. Very intense, no doubt about it. The Squeak once again for Soida Bressa getting involved. Couldn't quite pick it off, and there it is. Takes down Semantic. That takes down the Gem Carrier and opens things up for Reply Totem.
Having to say, got some really solid work coming in from Mari in defense in the form of Sprout. Absolutely doing the work right now and defending that central gem component. And you know what? Collecting these 7 gems himself, I think it's a bit of a one-man team right now. He's absolutely cleaning up.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Sprout does. That's the point of him, right? He is the gem carrier. He's going to block himself. That then you can see uses that super, blocks out any damage. Yeah, you're not going to chase me down. Going to get that down there. It's something we saw slowly develop and grow throughout. Obviously, back in the day, it used to be everyone using like Max or someone faster trying to avoid the damage. But 10 gems locked in. Semantic just needs to avoid and mitigate the damage. Mari getting some good damage down there, but he will just get blocked out immediately. Meanwhile, Skyrix doing the job. Jet doing what he should. Blocking out, good defensive, being the great teammates that they are, and SK will take the game.
Extremely well played by SK. I was definitely closer than one would have imagined, because if you're going up against an SK Gaming, even though you are Reply Totem, which is a fantastic squad in that, but SK coming off the wins that they've had in the past few months, not showing any nerves there and going in absolutely guns blazing, going in aggressive against a team like that. You know, they definitely put up a good fight, and that was definitely a closer match than one would have thought.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, SK, I've always said it before, right? You never really know what you're going to get with SK in a ladder match. When it comes to a knockout competition, you don't want to be facing SK because they are absolutely deadly. They're obviously the ESL Mobile champions from the spring. So let's see what they go on to do later on tonight.
Exactly. It's exciting times, but you've got to wait because next up we've got the second match for today. Na'Vi going up against BK ROG Esports, which is a pretty solid match again. Fairly similar in terms of their army comps, brawler comps. What am I talking about, D-Man?
I don't know. I don't know either. It's been a strange day, no doubt about it. Anyway, the double tick's in there. I think it's not double sprout because there's a Piper up the top in the mid lane as well. Meanwhile, it looks like a double bell. Yeah, double bell. I can see a bell at the top of the screen. So double bells, double ticks. So pretty standard between the two at the moment. Yeah, BK versus Na'Vi. BK Rock putting more pressure on recently. Not a name we've seen too much of in the ladder side of things. So they weren't obviously involved within Challenge last spring either. Na'Vi, of course, were, and they are qualified at the moment. BK Rock, unfortunately, didn't make it through. So I think they ended up 12th in the ladder off the top of my head. So very close, no doubt about it. But BBG's Jason and I assume it's MMA that's up there. No, it's not. It's Rubik is the other fourth player. Have certainly been putting some work in.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. That it appeared that for this entire duration of the match until about now, Na'Vi have been on the back foot, just playing defensively. They had been pinched in the entire time by BKR, and it's been unfortunate, but Rubik manages to push up and collect two, but it's still looking like BKR take the win in that one. That's a 6-3. Moving on to the next map, Na'Vi definitely going to get a bit more aggressive now, D-Man.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to reiterate to people in chat that are absolutely confused, this is not the play-ins. This is the ladder recap from the week before to show what got there, who got into the play-ins. The play-ins will be following in a short while. There we go. BK Rog finished 12th in the ladder, and this is one of the matches they played against Na'Vi. We're just recapping, hence the ESL Mobile recap show. Secrets in the name.
Secrets in the name. Well, we got BBG popping up on this left-hand side as Edgar, playing it safe. And we're just Jason on an absolute tear, rushing up, unfortunately getting dropped, but he's just playing super aggro for this entire match. And that is exactly what I like to see, D-Man.
Just no messing, no mercy. Considering, don't forget, if you die, you lose stars to your teammates. So it's not like you don't have anything to lose. Yes, I get it. Like, for example, Jason has the 2 stars, so he's going to go for it, maybe. 19-16, he's thinking, you know what, I could commit. I will delay the team. 3 seconds left. I will hold them up. And if we die, I die, but it will stop them. They end up taking it by 1 star there. I think it was 21-20 overall, but they had the blue star as well, of course. But look at this. This is pure aggression. Jason is just going straight in. Double shotguns on the Darryl. That's where you should be, but it's so risky.
Yeah, we were talking about the not Blood Diamond, sorry. We were talking about the Reply Totem match just gone against SK, how close it was. This is extremely close as well, racking up the bounty stars as much as they can. And we got Na'Vi on the front foot this time, 9-2 in the deciding match. Jason playing super aggressive once again, chasing down a kill and just manages to get him with 46 health left on his brawler. Wow. Absolutely clutch plays. And you know what? The risky plays, and they're paying off.
Jason's going in. He's got 5 stars. He just gave them 5 stars. I don't really understand some of the plays that Na'Vi are doing here. Absolute unanswered, unfiltered aggression just piling in. They just had that from a 15-2, I think it was, and they just gifted them 6 stars. So while it looks entertaining, I'm not sure it's quite so talented and skilled. It's definitely a risky play. And if they tried that against, say, an SK or a Clash, they would be absolutely punished for it. Rubik once again going in for Mommy this time. He's thinking 3 for 4, I'll take that. That's good odds for me. The rest of the team are backing him up. Jason comes in. He goes down 28-21 in the end. That is a bonkers game. No doubt about it.
Once again, she's Jason at the end again there, just getting flying down the middle of the map, just shooting them shotguns. Like, it's carnage, but that's exactly what I love to see. It may not be pretty, but it gets the job done. Managing to clutch out and win that particular map, Na'Vi Congratulations to them. Now we're going to go on to our third match, which is a siege map between two extremely important brawler teams that are going head-to-head, who are sitting pretty much at the top of the ladder. It's AC Milan Clash and Blood Diamond. So this is kind of like a heads up of what's potentially to come during the challenge season, D-Man.
Absolutely. My neighbours are deciding to drill somewhere in this apartment block, so I love that. Thanks for them to do that while I'm live on air. But Blood Diamonds, you know, a tough one for them, no doubt about it, up against Clash here. They were, though, the eventual winners. This is one of the 2 losses that Clash have had in the ladder, which is pretty impressive. So it really sets us up nicely for obviously what Blood Diamonds can bring to the table later on today, because obviously we didn't see too much of them. But Yavi and Antonov and with and this Black Sky, I think it's alongside him, putting some work on. And bearing in mind, Clash are an incredible team. So to take down Clash, this is no mean feat. Yes, it's in the ladder. Yes, it doesn't mean too much on the grand scheme of things, because it does mean that Clash will still progress to the challenge in the #1 spot. But I bet your boots at the time, they were not happy about this.
Exactly, bet your boots. They're looking to go undefeated for sure, but it just appears that Blood Diamond just kept piling on the pressure. Didn't really manage to get huge level siege bots throughout. They would just kind of chip away, keep getting it down, and then AC Milan just couldn't kind of keep up. But as you can see right now, a level 10 siege bot coming in to destroy right now, and pretty solid effort right there from Blood Diamond.
Absolutely. Certainly looking solid for them at the moment. IKS trying to do what he can. They get themselves just a good old little level 1 siege bot. 1 singular bolt returned in the opening exchanges. As I did point out, obviously 15% more on the safe as well. So on actually tell lie, that's on heist. That's not on the Ike. So ignore me completely. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's something we'll be talking about later on with Ark and Lethal that will be joining us for that. But as it is, very even teams as well between the two. So very impressed to see with Clash. Okay, they have the bolt advantage, but they're losing players in the mid.
Yeah, they just know that they can't get hyper aggressive. I mean, like we've seen in previous matches that we've watched today, some people just go absolutely head first. But both of these teams, you can't really do that, because they will just pin you down and they will just have that, because you just absolutely cannot push as a single unit. You have to come together, come up with some sort of strategy to enable that you're going to guarantee that you get these drops and that you can collect these bolts for the siege bot.
Yeah, absolutely. 13-8, though. That is going to be a monster bot coming up. There's no way Clash can sort of get this one back. Down to 10. They need 2, 3 more bolts. Doesn't matter, because in goes Blakesy. Does manage to collect a couple more bolts. And it's going to be a level 14 siege bot that goes piling in there on the Ike. And that will put pate to Clash. So it was here having a little dance off at the end there. But yes. So Clash, that's one of Clash's 2 losses in the entirety of the ladder that they had to Blood Diamond. So impressive. Bear in mind, they beat SK twice in the same night, that same day.
That's how they managed to absolutely rack up their points in order to make sure they come first in the ladder. But GG's to Blood Diamond, showing that they can take on some of the best in the business. So when they're going into the play-ins now, are all eyes on Blood Diamond and SK to see if they can go head-to-head? That's the match that I'm looking for. What about you, D-Man?
Yeah, absolutely. Blood Diamond obviously coming through, so second on the ladder, 39 wins, 2 losses. So that's a lot of games. They're going to be up against Mood later on, so we'll see how that works out. The French outfit, so Spain versus France, effectively, if you want to get nationalists. So very interested to see what they can bring to the table. Of course, SK Gaming are going into that as the out-and-out favourites to make it through, but there are, as far as I'm aware, 3 spots to go from that plane. So plenty of spaces. It does mean that if you reach the finals, you're in, and then it's down to the lower bracket to see who that final team will be.
Well, if you're watching the ESL Mobile Open for the first time, make sure that you keep watching for starters, but also you can take part. ! Sign up in the chat, and you could be going up against some of the best Brawl Stars teams in the business. There is still time. And speaking of time, you've got roughly 4 minutes or so. Go to the loo, get a cup of tea, because we've got Clash of Clans coming up next after this break.
ESL Mobile Open is brought to you by DHL and Pay Safeguard.
And that the Brawl Stars play-ins are going to be later on today, but the Clash of Clans play-ins were yesterday. So the attacks that you're going to be witnessing during this segment were from yesterday's play-ins. So if you don't already know who made it through, why spoil it? Let us guide you. So we've had some of the closest wars we've ever had in the ESL Mobile Open, right, D-Man?
Yeah, absolutely incredible stuff. Obviously, we saw from the spring challenge how close everything was. With the eventual winners, the surprise winners, I think it's safe to say MCES taking that one down with alternate attacks. Obviously, the favorites only going third in the end. So obviously, coming into these play-ins, there was a lot to live up to.
It definitely was, and also we have a war during these play-ins that took place that was a perfect war. That perfect war went down to the next thing, which is average time, which was again identical. So then it had to go down to the fastest attack from that entire war, which won. I'm not going to spoil it for you right now. We're going to have to watch and then we can reveal it to you in a short while. But that's the closest war I think we've ever had in the ESL Mobile Open. So really exciting stuff. But let's take a quick look at the leaderboard for Clash of Clans. And let's see who's kind of sitting at the top. You know, is it the usual suspects? Look at that play-ins. It's not a leaderboard, Banks. What are you talking about? ATN Attacks advancing to the challenge finals along with Bazinga. Pretty cool stuff, hey?
Yeah, so Bazinga getting through. I remember, obviously, we had this conversation when they did the play-ins back in spring, and at the time, the ladder was absolutely cutthroat, and Bazinga missed out on the play-ins. Massive surprise, Judo was saying. It was really shocked to see them not in there. So it's great to see that they've taken the ball by the horns effectively. MCES, though, who were knocked down into the lower bracket by Bazinga, as you can see, eventually managed to surpass Underdogs and Nolex in the finals as well in the lower bracket to advance to that into the ESL Mobile. So it does mean we have the usual suspects in the ESL Mobile Challenge once again.
We do. We got ATN Attacks, MCS, and Bazinga. I mean, I didn't mean to sound so surprised. I'm extremely impressed with all the bands, but I was just surprised that MCES get knocked down into the lower bracket first map. I mean, shows anything can happen, and the caliber of the clans that we have competing is just absolutely unbelievable. So we're going to jump into our first attack from the play-ins yesterday, which was ATN versus Underdogs. One of the attacks from ATN, which was from Mask, coming in with I would have said, quite an unusual attack, because we've got a Queen Charge, we've got Peckers, right? We've got Ice Golems, we've got Witches, we've got Hogs. I mean, there's a little bit of everything. I don't know, let's just call this the little bit of everything attack. I know some people in chat are going to be like, it's a Pecker smash, and they're like smashing their fists against the keyboard. I promise you, it's going to be a banger nonetheless.
Obvious.
It's so obvious, Banks. And 5 Super Wizards. Never forget the Super Wizards, guys.
Yes, what are you talking about? I'm just going to go back to what you were talking about. It's incredible that we had, because obviously bearing in mind a war is obviously 5 attacks, that we had 5 attacks on the same time. That's bonkers.
That is unreal. Like, the average time across that being that close is just, it's just such an absolutely infinitesimally small, oh god, I can't speak today. It's just a very small percentage chance. But anyway, let's get into this attack. We've got the Blimp sending towards this town hall after he's cleared out the initial part of that little compartment, coming in with some of the loons. Grand Warden pops his ability while the Queen is pushing in through to the middle section. That Blimp pops, and inside we have Yetis. Is it Yetis? I can't see. Why can't I see?
I've never been able to see from the blimps.
I
always used to say, right, in my commentary, I always used to say, and the blimp goes down at the thing. Obviously it goes down because that's the point of it. But everybody seemed to assume that I meant it died. And it was like, I give up. I give up. If I don't get my terminology right in this game, I am not going to mention it.
You'll definitely be in trouble.
But yes, it's always very tricky to see exactly what comes out of that blimp. It does surprise me the Eagle Artillery was left till the very last minute, though.
Exactly. Going into this back end, we've got the Pecker that's still pretty healthy. We've got the Royal Champ that's about to go down, but she's going to use her Seeking Shield to get some of these remaining defensive buildings. There we go. Pops it. Seeking Shield takes out a few. Does he have enough to clean up? It looks like he does, but it might take a little while. He's only got one Party Wizard chilling out in the back. And we've still got the Queen. Okay, we've got the Grand Warden is still up. I'm searching with my eyes. Queen's ability has been popped, and we've got the Royal Champ still swooping around. Yeah, you got 3 heroes up. You're absolutely laughing, D-Man.
Yeah, easy 100%. So, I mean, this was one of the close games, obviously, underdogs. This was the semi-finals earlier on, obviously, technically, which advanced alternate attacks to go through. This was the winning game, effectively. Yes, it was their 4th attack, but it was a 3-star attack, and that kind of put them in control overall with 100% win rate overall.
Ooh, 4 out of those 5 was a triple, and ATN are absolutely on a tear, as per usual. I mean, do you ever think that they're not going to be doing something like that? If you draw ATN attacks in your first match in the play-ins, you just got to have a sigh, don't you? You just got to be like, oh. However, I will say some clans are doing extremely well this season comparatively.
So I'm not 100% up to date with my Clash, and in terms of actually the clans. I've got to assume Mask is the new player that came in for ATAX, right? Because they had a player retire.
They did indeed. I think it was Linnaid who retired, if I am right.
Yeah,
Please shout at me in the chat if I'm wrong, but give me a thumbs up if I'm not wrong, because I just kind of plucked that from up here.
We'll get Lady being Judo on the phone in a minute. Like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah, Judo's going to be texting me like, dude, just head in hands emoji. But we got next up, we have this extremely tight match that I was talking about, you know, the one that had the average time, both perfect wars, all the way down to the fastest attack. It was Badzinga against Nolex. This attack that we're going to be watching is from Wasted from Badzinga, but Dima is the one who got the fastest attack, and it was only by 3 seconds, D-Man. But Wasted's coming in with a Queen Charge Lalo, you know, a staple that we've been seeing for the past few town halls, and you know what? He does this to absolute perfection, mate.
Yeah, this has been kind of the standard for a very long time. I did notice, I think it was the E-Drags that got buffed, didn't they, in the latest patch? So I was expecting to see maybe them coming through a bit more, but who am I to argue what the pro players use?
Who are you to argue who the pro players use?
Who are you?
Who are you? So we got the Grand Warden coming in with, it's like a cheeky little Warden Walk it would seem, but it looks like we've just got a compiled amount of our heroes right in the central compartment here, and I think that those healers might have switched to the Warden when they were supposed to stay on the Queen, but moving through, we've only got this bottom section taken out so far, and we're already a minute into the attack, so it's fairly slow, so he's going to have to do something fairly speedy coming off the back of this. With the Queen and the Warden keep pushing their way in, got a nice little jump spell there so he can go in and take out the multi-target Inferno along with the Queen, but you know what? It's looking fairly tight, and I'm pretty sure, well, I'm certain this is a triple because it was a perfect war. So something magical definitely happens here, D-Man.
I mean, you say it's tight, but I'm seeing half the base gone.
I mean, that's true.
I'm looking at a different game, maybe. I don't know.
By the
Obviously,
time I finished what I was saying, half the base is gone.
yeah. I mean, obviously the blimp did outreach his marker. It didn't. I think he came down early, didn't it? It didn't get. Oh no, it did. It did. I could see the wizards in there. Yeah. It did actually get in there, and then of course the loons will come sweeping through. I didn't see if there was anything that went across to try and check for the traps, but the loons are absolutely in full effect, which is why we're going to see things accelerate.
Yeah, after taking out half of that base, you've literally got a straight line that the loons are going to come in. He basically swags an invisibility spell just to ensure that he gets over that multi-target Inferno so we can get it down so that he savors some more of the loons. But I mean, look how much he's got for cleanup here. The Warden and the Queen are still nice and healthy. I mean, so much of this attack is still left standing. Pretty much his entire army. Look at that. There's like 100 units there.
Yeah, that was a pretty darn clean attack there, and that's why we're seeing Badzinga, who are moving through to the ESL Mobile Challenge. It's great to see the CIS region being represented.
Indeed. They are being represented. Badzinga are going to be going through, but extremely tight. Hats off to Nolex. The team from Germany done extremely well. However, it just wasn't their day. But you know what? There's another ladder, and there's more play-ins, and then there's a challenge. We've got so much content to come your way. Do not worry. Have no fear. Everyone gets a second chance. But we've got another attack for you, of course, the third and final attack. We've got MCES versus Carnage Gaming. Another Queen Charge Lalo for you because we know how much you guys love seeing them. We've got Remio coming in for MCES, an absolute clinician when it comes to these kinds of attacks. But I can't see any differentiation here other than a Stone Slammer. Might switch it out for a Blimp if needs be because these guys are just so good at adapting on the fly, D-Man.
Yeah, so this would have been MCES basically on the back of losing to Badzinga. This was the first lower bracket game that they played. They obviously, went on to take down Underdogs and Nolex as well. So this would have probably been a very angry MCES that they faced.
Coming in with a hero dive off the rip, just dived on in with the Royal Champions. Just try and take out some of the defensive structures over there. Now he's drawing over the Lava Hound so that he can just basically manage to get that down, because that's just irritating. The Lava Hound is just annoying, let's be honest. So we got the Ice Golem coming in from the left-hand side along with the Queens to just make this push into the Town Hall sector. So this basically makes sure that everything goes down, guarantee that initial star from the Town Hall, and then we can get cracking. The Yak, we're getting cracking with the Yakin on the right-hand side of your screen, along with the King as well, D-Man.
Maybe that'll be a new Town Hall mob they put in, the Kraken. It just pops up in the middle and it's like, starts slamming everything down. They're giving Supercell ideas right now. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice little funnel in the end that's obviously going to go across. They really need to deal with the Lava Tower at the moment. And the crossbow is doing some work taking down that unicorn.
He's just doing it on purpose now, mate. The Queen taking out the Town Hall in that left side compartment, sorry. Lava Hound is still up. What an absolute nuisance. The Stone Slammer gets popped. Out come a load of loons. So everything is looking fairly solid right now. And a Dragon Rider. Let's go. Grand Warden pops the ability coming in with these loons. So many loons coming in with the Grand Warden to try and sweep around. He's going to have to look out for this Eagle Artillery on this top side of the base. We've also got a load of loons coming in from the left side. This is just a huge pinch, let's call it. And just a heck of a lot of bats coming out as well. Utilizing the bat spells pretty well because there's not a huge amount of splash damage left on this base.
Yeah, there's zero defenses, really. There's not a great deal left. It was a pretty clean sweep in the end from Remio. You were talking about, obviously, in the last attack we saw from Badzinga, how much was left. Again, just look at how many loons are out there. This was a solid attack from Remio. Absolutely devastated poor old Carnage Gaming's bases.
I mean, this was actually a hero dive, Lalo. Sorry, for those of you in the chat, it was not a Queen Charge, Lalo. That is my mistake. I'm actually looking at the troops down below on the screen, but Remio comes away with a triple. As per usual, would you have thought he would do anything differently? I mean, I wouldn't have personally. But D-Man, as we close out the show, Clash of Clans closes us out. Anything in particular that stood out for you? For me, because I always ask you this question at the end. I would probably have to say the 1v7 in PUBG was just amazing. Yes, I got it before him.
Going to say the same thing. Yeah, honestly, it was a fantastic game. In that case, I will go with Na'Vi and Brawl Stars there. Absolute bonkers aggression that didn't really make any sense to me, but it still won them the game anyway.
Jason, we were watching you and we were cheering for you. And you know what? Let's have a bit more of that. Let's have a bit more of aggression coming in through the play-ins as well, because that's what's going to be coming up soon. But if you enjoyed today's show, you can still take part. And we have another ladder of these play-ins. So there's still time. ! Sign up in the chat for those of you that want to join in for the next ladder. We've still got so much to go, like we've already mentioned. D-Man, it's been an absolute pleasure, as always. Thank you so much for taking me through these clips in such style. And if you avert your eyes to the bottom of the screen right now, we would all love to say, D-Man, happy birthday, mate.
Thank you very much, guys. Yes, I've just turned 21, guys.
Yes!
Would you believe it? Would you believe it? No, you wouldn't.
Well, from myself and everyone at ESL, let's get some happy birthday messages pouring into the chat, everyone. Come on, because D-Man's going to be jumping in with Lethal and Arc to do the Brawl Stars play-ins very soon. Thank you so much to ESL, all of you guys in production, for sorting out this show. It's absolutely amazing. And thank you to you at home for supporting all of the shows, the talent, and all of your favorite players, because without you, this show does not exist. Thank you so much once again. My name is Banks. See you next time. Stick around for the play-ins.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up.
Back against the wall, still I'm standing tall. Know about the ball, I got my fan with me. All we know is ball to empty out the mouths. The chosen one they call, I take my fan with me. Know about it if you tell, know you're breaking codes. Want your credibility and all fall like dominoes. Can you really take a stance? All I wanna know. Need me real ones when it's time to go. Stepping in, elevator, this is to all the haters. That's all we know when we level up. Yeah, that's all we know when we level up.
Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? It's time, get up. I found out I'm not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. There's no failing when we fight. We're not afraid to level up. All we know about is level up. Are we ready not to level up? You know we fall and we get up. Level